Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. It's a chilly morning here, but the sun is out over the horizon, and looks like it's going to be a nice beautiful day with some sunshine again, so that's definitely a blessing. I already have our batch of knives I heat treated yesterday out. They're tempered. I ran them through 2 tempered cycles, of course, as always, and they're ready to finish grind and move on from there. So I've already started. I'm going to heat the kiln up here for the next batch of 4 or 5 knives, and we'll keep running them through this whole week, and I'll just keep running batches through until I have, you know, what is a total of like 16 knives or so heat treated, and then they'll be ready to finish grind and just complete finish as we go. So I'm going to get the kiln set up, and then today I'm going to start on a couple different projects. One is something that's been in the works, or I've been needing to start for quite some time. Another is going to be a one-off project. It's going to be a full video, build video, and so I'm not going to show it to you guys because it's going to be its own video. The first project is this. So remember our sand Mai that we made last week? You know, between 70 and 80 layers of 1075 and sawmill blade steel. I'm going to be making some sand Mai, and what that is for is it's going to be, I'm going to start a Bowie knife, a large Bowie knife. And this knife is going to my granddad, who we call Papa. So Papa has been, out of all the people that have helped us on our journey, well, through life, but also specifically on this knife making, bladesmithing journey, Papa's been the one who's been able to help me the most out of any person. And like I say, he's not the only one. There's a lot of other people that have really helped us, and you know, it's been a blessing. I wouldn't, yeah, I'm not a self-made man, let's just put it that way. None of us really are. So it's a blessing to have friends and family who are generous and help in various ways. But anyway, the first knife I made 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, Papa helped me with, and we didn't live near Papa and Nana, but I'd happened to start the project shortly before we were going to go up for a visit, and so I brought it with me, of course, because Papa's always had a shop, you know, different tools and stuff. He's always, you know, tinkered on, well, fixed cars, you know, all kinds of different projects, you know, welding and the settle and torch and all that other stuff that you normally expect. And so I brought that up, and he helped me heat treat it and put a handle on it as a small gesture of appreciation. I'm going to build him this Bowie that he wants, and yeah, so I'm going to start on that today. So this is the first knife I ever made. This is I think it's a birch handle or something. These are copper leather saddle rivets, and I see one's kind of pulling out here a little bit because the handle wood is kind of swelled up from moisture or humidity. But this is actually mild steel. It's not even hardenable steel. It's all I had when all I could find at the time. But this is what started it all, and Papa helped me make this knife. Alright, we got the forge heating up, and the next thing I need to do is cut off a couple pieces of this billet, and this is going to be a bigger blade. So normally when I start a sand Mai blade, the sand Mai billet's 3 or 4 inches long. I'm going to do a 5-inch billet on this, just to make sure that I have enough stock. It might be more than I need, but I'd rather have a little extra. This is my favorite way to do sand mine. I've welded it with flux and stuff like that before, of course. But just welding it, taking the time to run a bead around the entire perimeter, it's just so nice because it's completely sealed. You don't have to worry about it. You can just stick it in the forge, let it come up to heat, and whatever you feel like it, set the weld basically, and go from there. You know, within reason, of course. Anyway, it's just a really nice way of doing it. First squish on the buoy. Okay, I've got the weld set on the buoy billet, and now I'm going to go ahead and grind off these welds so that as I continue to forge it, I'm not going to push those into the billet. Okay, I have the buoy billet forged down to a pretty uniform thickness all the way up, and I've got enough width here to do what I want to do. The next thing I am going to do is I'm going to forge out the handle width a little bit more. Alright guys, what we have here is a buoy blank, if you want to use that term. And I still have to cut off or grind off the end of the tang because that still has that weld bead on it. So I made the handle a little bit longer, and got plenty of blade length here. So after this cools down, let it cool down nice and slow in the air or whatever, and take it to the grinder, and we'll just grind out a blade profile. Alright, so this is cooled off and we can grind on it, so I'm just gonna kind of think about what I'm trying to accomplish here before I run in there and start grinding. That's very rough, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just start grinding. So we've got a nice profile there started, and I'm just going to establish kind of where my ricasso is going to start and stop, and I'm going to go ahead and rough grind the blade. For the most part, I'm just going to go ahead and grind out my, well, it'll be a full flat, but rough grind will be somewhere like that, and there'll be a guard. So anyway, we'll just get started on that. Okay, so we have this Bowie rough ground. I was thinking about it. This is actually the first Bowie knife that I've actually made, so that's kind of cool. What are the specs on it? Let me grab my ruler. Here we go. So we have the edge as it stands right now is 8 5/8, so you know, a decent little size. The thickness on it, it's a nice hefty 1/4 inch, so it'll be a little bit smaller after final grinding and stuff like that probably, but nice hefty blade, and it'll have a full flat grind. Kind of clean up the handle profile a little bit, but obviously I have a lot to work with there still. This is pretty close, but the length is going to be a little shorter. Not too worried about that. That'll be just fine. So we can go ahead with normalizing, probably get to that tomorrow. But of course we have to check and see what the pattern looks like real quick. Some ferric chloride here. This is the exciting moment, and it's not going to show up as good as it will when the product is finished, but oh yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I was hoping that that would happen. So you can see here all those little wavy lines. That's pretty much all the way up and down, and I was hoping to get that effect when I was drawing out that billet, as you probably noticed with those those round dies, taking all those little bites, and so it's putting all those little half moons in the surface of the billet, and that's the effect at this stage of the game. So you can see right here our edge steel. There's about 3/16 or 1/4 inch. Maybe you can't see it showing right here. And this is still a rough ground. We still have quite a bit to take off, so we're going to be able to. It'll have more showing, obviously, by the time we're finished with the grinding process. So it's really cool. This is going to be quite the little chopping blade. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for being here, as always, and we will see you on the next video.